Thank you all so much for joining. Here today we've got Paige Holmgren from Northwestern Mutual, Utah. So Northwestern Mutual's got awesome internships and jobs all over the country, but Paige is going to be talking to us a little bit about the opportunities that are available in Utah today. So Paige, go ahead, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here with you all today and share a little bit more about Northwestern. Just to give you all a little background on myself before I share my screen and do a little overview of our company, our program, what this really looks like. I have been with the company for 4 years, almost 4 years. It's been 2 years actually today in the Utah office. So getting to celebrate that on Valentine's Day is kind of fun. My favorite color is pink. So this is like the best day ever for me because everyone's wearing pink. And so I've been here for 2 years, but I started out in the Minnesota office. That's where I'm from. And I've been working in the internship the entire time that I've been with the company. So it's been such a great experience just going from campus recruiting back in Minnesota all the way up to now running and being in charge of the operations of the internship from a state perspective out here in Utah. So we have offices across the state. We also have offices across the country, clearly. And so there's a lot of opportunity here as far as jobs go. But our internship program is really what I'm here to talk about today. Like I said, I've been in it for 4 years. And so have some understanding of kind of how it operates. And I've seen it as such a great opportunity for people who are looking for professional experience while still in school. And even people who maybe are, going back to school and already have professional experience, they can really get more of that job type of work rather than maybe more of a typical quote internship type of job where you're doing a little bit more of the busy work. This is real hands-on experience, and I'll talk more about that. So really excited to be with you all today and to share a little bit more about Northwestern. I do have a presentation, so I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully it all looks good. Okay. All right. Can we
You're
see
good.
the
I can see your PowerPoint. Yes.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, I'm like, can I get a thumbs up in the crowd? Okay, awesome. And then if I go to the next slide, let me just make sure. I go to the next slide, you can see that too, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Awesome. So yeah, I'm just gonna spend a little bit of time talking about Northwestern, starting with Northwestern Mutual Utah specifically. So something that's unique about Northwestern, like I said, we're nationwide, but every individual office is run by individual people, individual leadership teams. And so we get to kind of create our own visions and what we want to do as far as, the impact that we want to make on our community. And so this is a really exciting opportunity for our managing partner to look at our community and kind of what we need and then create a mission and vision and values around that information. And so based off of, market penetration in Utah and the types of people that live here and how much it's growing. I mean, I moved here, there's a lot of people moving here from all over. We're able to kind of create visions and values for ourselves and our company. And to kind of sum it all up, so I won't make you go through every single one of these, really our commitment is just to helping people grow and become more financially secure. So a lot of people are undereducated in the realm of finance. I know I wasn't really spoken to about it very much. It was just kind of something that existed. I knew that my parents worked and they did what they needed to do. But as far as education, when it comes to financial planning, there wasn't a lot there until I started working here and I started figuring out how much I could do with my money and how much planning I could do for myself and my husband. And so that's something that we really want to do is help more people in our community become more financially secure. And really, as an office, and as a company in Utah, we want to commit to being more. And to me, that really means like going beyond your job title, being more than just an intern, being more than just a recruiter, but actually caring about the people that you work with and caring about the people around you. And that's definitely something that we implement in our day-to-day here in Utah. So just to give you a quick rundown of our team, what's really cool about our internship is that a lot of people that are working at Northwestern are from our internship. And so we really have a great opportunity to help you grow and learn from people who have actually been in your shoes before if you were to become an intern. So the only two people who didn't have internship experience within Northwestern Mutual on this page were myself and Natalie Tita. Other than that, Todd Grabner came from the internship program, actually out in Minnesota as well, and worked his way up, and now he's a managing partner. So he runs all of our offices across the state of Utah. And then Steve Nashlinas came from the internship program about 14 years ago. He runs our office here in Salt Lake City. Dusty Ingram was an intern as well about 9 years ago, and now she's our chief development officer, overseeing recruiting and any other training and development, and she works with our interns, just helping them grow and learn as well. Jared Shumway was an internship recruiter for 8 years, was in kind of my role, and then became a financial representative himself. So he recruited himself. He was so good at it. And so these are all people on this page that help our internship and are really hands-on in our development of our internship. And it just goes to show that even if it doesn't end up being, a long-term play as far as the financial representative role, there's a lot of other opportunities within the program and within the company that you can work on as well. So just a few quick facts so that you know a little bit more about Northwestern Mutual. Obviously, we're a financial planning firm. We started in the life insurance space, and then we got into the investment space about 10 years ago. And we do have quite a lot of accolades, and clearly we like to show those off just because we're a 166-year-old company. So our strength and security and what we've built over that many years is definitely something that we're proud of. And that when it comes to bringing on new clients, we want to make sure that they're aware of, how strong and secure our company is when it comes to finance. And so AAA rated, this is a rating that companies get as far as, financial security and strength for the future. Obviously, if my, money is going to be anywhere, I want it to be somewhere that has this type of a rating that is seen as a company that will last a very long time. Obviously, we've been around 166 years, so I don't foresee us going anywhere anytime soon. We're an industry leader in our total dividend payout. Last year was about $6.8 billion of dividend payout. We're the largest direct provider of individual life insurance in the U.S. We have over 5 million clients, and 97% of our policyholders, which is also, a client, will stay year after year as a policyholder. So we have that retention rate of clients as well. And then we're also top 10 in independent broker dealers. So even though we've been in the investment space only 10 years, we're in the top 10 of broker dealers at this point as well. So we do more than insurance. A lot of people think we're just insurance, but we actually do it all, which is pretty exciting. And then just, reiterating what I was saying earlier, our biggest thing when we're working with our clients is just making sure that they're taken care of. So, we're a mutual company, we're owned by our clients. And so our biggest passion is just ensuring that they're taken care of, that their life is protected, whether, be it through insurance or that they're helping their money grow, that they're optimizing their wealth, whatever that looks like. So everything we do is in the best interest of our clients. So kind of going through that, we have 3 pillars of financial planning that we really focus in on, and that's protect, optimize, and grow. Protecting through things like insurance, disability insurance, life insurance. We're not health insurance. We're just focusing on more that protect your wealth side of things. Growing your wealth through investment strategies, and then optimizing through tax strategies. So this is kind of the approach to financial planning that we have and that we work with when we're looking at our clients. So now the internship. So something, that is really important to note about our internship program is it is an incredibly hands-on experience. So our interns are actually out there building their own financial planning services clientele. They're reaching out to people. They're in real financial planning meetings with clients. They're bringing on their own clients. I have an intern right now. He's been with me since last January. He has about 18 clients at this point. By the end of the summer, hopefully he'll be fully investment licensed. He'll be a fully licensed financial advisor. And he'll be working with, by the time he graduates in December, upwards of 30 to 40 clients. And then he can go full time and continue to build his business from there. So our interns have their own clients. They're working with senior advisors to learn from those senior advisors, but they also have ownership in what they're building. And our business model allows for advisors and interns to have equity in what they built down the road, so they can build their book of business, sell it, they can pass it along, they can do with it what they want. And so our ideal intern candidate we find is last semester junior or first semester senior. This is because our opportunity is more of a career development opportunity. So we're looking for students who are looking for their career. Ideally, we're finding those next advisors. And so you are spending your internship kind of prepping for that full-time opportunity. Now, it doesn't always work out that way, of course, but we are going to treat it as though you're going to become a full-time advisor with us so that you get that real experience. Ideally, you plan to stay local. So same reason why we made this specific to Utah is because we're hiring here for Utah. Of course, we have offices across the country, but our main focus is growing our office in Utah. And so ideally, somebody who would want to stay here post college and kind of participate and grow their career here. We love students who have experience with athletics or community leadership, sales. Those are kind of the top three things that as I'm interviewing, I'm looking for some sort of involvement or experience in those three things. Some sort of belief in financial planning, seeing it as important, of course, would be important since you're going to be working with clients in that space. And then strong work ethic, resilience, and coachability. So we're coaching our interns. I did coaching meetings yesterday and Monday with our interns. We definitely come across moments where it's like, hey, you're not really being very coachable right now. We need to learn a little bit here. And so that's where kind of that professional development comes into play of like, when you get into the business world, and I'm sure many of you know this already, it's like you're going to fall on your face a million times, and that's okay. And that's just life in general. So being able to learn and agree that maybe things aren't exactly perfect, you're not doing things exactly perfect, that's okay. We can all learn and grow in many different ways. And then work ethic is important too, because this is a job that requires a lot of work and effort and energy and time. And so it's really important to be able to commit to that and see yourself as, disciplined and self-motivated. So these are a couple of tips of preparing for the interview. Our interview process, which I believe is on the next page, I'll just go into this quick, is really exploratory, and we want it to be able to be an opportunity for us to get to know you, but then you also to get to know us. So the first call is with me. I just explore a little bit more about your background, what's important to you. I give you an overview of Northwestern, the career, the internship, etc. Allow you to ask questions, things of that nature. And then if we decide to move forward, you would do a more in-depth conversation with our college unit director, Jared Shumway. You would discuss more about like training expectations, the day-to-day compensation structure, how we go to market and build our clientele, things of that nature. We assign a mini homework assignment between the second and third interview where you get to reach out to people and kind of explore what it's like to ask them questions about financial planning and see how that feels for you. And then our third and final one is just reviewing how that market survey process went, kind of giving a overview of anything else that we might have missed in the rest of the selection process. We'd also have you present like why NM, why now, why you. And then from there we would decide if we wanted to extend an offer. So we make sure it's a pretty extensive selection process to ensure that it is the best fit. So essentially the role of the intern is exactly what our full-time reps do. So you're reaching out to people, you're setting financial planning conversations, you're participating in those financial planning conversations. You're also implementing sales skills such as prospecting, getting introduced to people, networking. Referrals is how we grow our business. And so it's really important that you have that ability or want to get connected and reach out to people and kind of put yourself out there in that regard. Because unfortunately, people are just not lined up out the door waiting for financial services. Sometimes they need to have somebody kind of let them know that it's an option in order to explore it a little bit further and see if it's something that they would want to implement into their plan. So you would reach out to people, you'd have initial conversations with prospective clients, you would go back and build financial plans for people and then present those financial plans and make those recommendations. And then it's up to the client if they want to implement that into their plan. And then you also have a lot of training and development and, like I said, accountability meetings throughout the week. So you have an opportunity to really learn from people around you and grow in many different ways, both personally and professionally. So how we kind of, measure success in the internship, and this is actually a a clip from our day in the life video. So the woman on the right, she is actually a current intern in one of our Florida offices, and the gentleman on the left is Nick. He is a college unit director, so he's a coach and mentor to the interns in that Florida office. So I've worked closely with Nick a lot, and then she is, like I said, a current intern, and she did a whole video of like day in the life, and we send that out before the initial meeting, so it's something that you'd be able to watch. And so our ideal day for an intern would be to get 4+ new introductions, so referrals, introductions, etc. Keep 3 meetings, set 2 new meetings for like the next week, and then keep, so 3 meetings is a total overall meetings, and then 1+ new meetings is kept. So a new meeting is considered like the first time you're seeing a client. 3 meetings, that is just overall total. So it could be the second or third time you're seeing a client, something like that. Or it could be like a prospecting meeting in that regard. So we coach to these activity goals just to make sure that you're on track. We have a whole system that we call Granum, where it's a bunch of research done from the financial services industry about like how to be successful and how to build a financial planning services clientele. And so we just back that up, and we have used that research in order to implement day-to-day success metrics as far as what this internship could look like. So really our focus is to make sure that we're training you properly, that we're mentoring you. We of course have repayment for any sort of licensing. So we start with an insurance license, and then we go into an investment license as well. And then down the road, CFP is an option, and all these other designations. And so those are kind of the things that Northwestern really focuses on. We have a week-long training program for our internship. And then we also want to make sure that your mentorship is really comprehensive, that you have weekly trainings just with the whole internship to make sure you're on track, you understand what you need to do. So really the support, and being that a lot of our advisors are former interns, is pretty limitless. A lot of our advisors are open to talking to you, helping you, mentoring you, etc. And so we really make sure that our interns feel supported and cared for, and that, you know, through all of this, they are getting the experience that is best for them. This is just an earning potential overview. This is based off of our full-time financial advisors. So just an opportunity for you to see like what's possible in a career like this. Because there is for a full-time opportunity, it's completely commission-based compensation. For our internship, we have a stipend program, and then on top of that, you make commissions. But for our advisors, because of the way that our business is structured, they have equity in what they're building. They do have a high earning potential. It just takes, of course, that upfront effort, and it's really you get out of it what you put into it. So rather than, you know, working harder than Joe Schmo next to you and getting paid the same, you actually get paid more because you are working harder. So you're seeing that result through the effort that you put into it. So these are just some averages. First 1 through 4 years in the business, and then post that 5+ years down. Average is just kind of like doing the job, what you need to do. Top 25% is doing a little bit over, and maybe a little bit of an overachiever, and then top 10% is going to be our top people in our company. So just something to be aware of as you're thinking about your future and what you're hoping for financially or your opportunity. So that's kind of our spiel as far as our internship goes, and kind of what is possible here. I have made this QR code in order to allow students to express interest in wanting to talk further about the opportunity. I went through a lot, but like I said, an initial conversation with you would be really learning more about you and seeing how this could all align. And so if you were to fill out this QR code, I would just reach out to you to set up a 30 to 45-minute intro call. If you're interested in learning more, if after hearing all this, you're like, hey, that kind of sounds like something I would be interested in, then great. And if not, that's okay too. But just want to, you know, offer this up for you all, but also want to open the floor for questions, I believe. I don't know if that's kind of the direction we want to go, but as far as information, I think that's all that my talking can do for right now, from a presentation standpoint. So
Perfect. Thank you, Paige. And I will go ahead and allow people to unmute themselves if they'd like. If you'd prefer to put your questions in the chat, I can also read those out from the chat as well. Otherwise, I will ask a question while we wait for somebody else to put a question in. Um, I know when I worked at a brick and mortar institution, the local Northwestern Mutual office, they had some students who would, plan to intern for a semester and end up interning until they graduated. Is that something that's common with your office as well? Can an internship be extended?
Absolutely, yeah. So, the intern I mentioned who's been with me for a year, he plans to stay with us until he graduates in December. So, yeah, it's very, very common. It's usually about 1 in 3, I would say, on average. I have 4 right now. We call them veteran interns when they like stay on with us past 1 semester. I have 4 of those at the moment, and then 4 kind of new interns since January. So, yeah, it's pretty common to have that, and that's actually what we encourage. We hope that they would stay on for many semesters until they graduate.
Great. And what would you say is like the typical percentage of an intern class who ends up working with Northwestern Mutual full time? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, so ironically it's actually 1 in 3 as well, just because usually if they stay on with us, they tend to go full time with us. But I would say that's just for like the financial advisor career. So if like 1 in 3 of them would become an advisor with us, but I would say even more of them would actually end up becoming like another role within Northwestern. So like Dusty Ingram, who was on the first page, like she ended up moving into more of like a training role, and helping new advisors and training them and developing them. There's just like always other opportunities that open up as well. And so I would say, it could be closer to like 40% of interns end up doing some sort of role within Northwestern. And we're actually trying to raise that number as well. It's something that our home office is really pushing for right now is, can we, if an intern doesn't continue on with the financial advisor role, is there another way to offer different roles and really open up the opportunity?
Great. And if you want to come off mute, you can raise your hand so that I stop asking questions. But um, when you think about like a good candidate for the internship, so at WGU, a lot of our students have some work experience already. What are some skills and maybe experiences that you would like to see as you're evaluating somebody to potentially move forward in that internship interview process?
Yeah, I would say a lot of it is, I mean, my most ideal candidates usually come from some sort of a sales background. Real estate has been great. Really anything where you have been client facing in the past tends to be a pretty good opportunity for, the transition is a little bit easier. Also, needing to make a lot of connections in your first couple of years, anything where you have made a lot of connections in your previous opportunities can help as well. So the biggest two, I would say, yeah, would be more in like the sales, real estate, any sort of client facing or business building role.
And do y'all have a lot of like career changers who come to work there?
Yes, we do. Yeah, and that's exactly what we call them too. So that's funny. We call them career changers. So, we have a whole team that just recruits for our full-time opportunity, and they're usually coming from different careers. So we have a whole mixture of them right now. Some of them are coming from, car sales. Some of them are coming from real estate. Some of them have come from mortgage lending. Some of them have come from just like, you know, basic, whatever job. They've just they wanted something else that they could kind of control more and work more with clients and stuff like that. We have people come from the financial industry and different companies. So yeah, we have a big mix, but we have 2 recruiters who focus specifically on career changers. So we're bringing in quite a few of those as well.
Right. I
Um,
think I missed any. Yeah.
Starting from the previous question, I wanted to ask, like, what would be the qualification criteria for the career changers?
That's a really good question. I don't know that we have like specific qualifications as far as like you need to have X amount of experience within this field. Of course, having job experience is probably number one if you are a career changer. Usually our target for that is somebody who's been in some sort of a career for like 3 to 5 years at least. But again, we're open to having conversations with anyone because we usually will have a conversation and discover if it's a good fit at that point. Also, on our full-time side, there is an assessment that we call the right choice. And this is just a research that takes kind of your information, where you're at currently, your background in the financial services career, even if it's just, have you been a client before? Have you been able to work with an advisor ever? Have you ever had any education when it comes to financial planning? And that will kind of dictate whether or not now is a good time to do a career like this. Because it's commission only, we always want to make sure that it's the right time for a full-time advisor to come into this. And so we're very diligent about ensuring that it's ideal for you, because it is like an entrepreneurial experience. So our full-time recruiters really go through the process with you and make sure it's a good fit for you no matter what your qualifications are. I could stop sharing.
Any other questions coming up? Well, I'm going to go ahead. I'll stop the recording.